I can't see them.
Okay, 9.1. We're working on parabolas. You guys have done this before. Okay, you have worked with parabolas before, so this should be review for today. Okay, we are going to find the vertex, line of symmetry, and we will sketch. Now, what we're going to do for this unit is all about something called conic sections, okay? So they're all just going to be shapes. The first one we're starting with is parabolas, okay? We will learn 4 different shapes, okay? The first one is parabolas, though. So for example, number 1, if I give you the equation, y equals 1/2 quantity, so in parentheses, x plus 3 squared minus 1. And we're going to find the line of symmetry, the vertex, and sketch. Now, luckily for you, all of our parabolas, we want them to be in what form? What kind of form is this called? Do you guys remember? This is called descriptive form. Okay? Descriptive form is the way we like these because it basically tells you all of the parts and you don't have to use any formulas. So descriptive form is when we have y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Y equals a times x minus h squared, plus k. And from descriptive form, there's a bunch of different parts that you can find. Okay, the a value tells you what? Do you remember? The direction it opens. Okay, so the direction it opens, as well as, what else does the a value tell you? Do you guys remember? Not slope. It tells you the width.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it tells you if it's going to be a fat, skinny, or normal size parabola. Okay. The other part that you definitely need to know is the line of symmetry. Where does line of symmetry come from? Do you remember? X equals h. Okay, so all you have to do is change the sign here, and line of symmetry is always going to be written as a line, so it's an x equals line, and it's x equals h. Okay, so you literally just change the sign of whatever's in the parentheses. And then the last thing that you can find from this equation is the vertex, and the vertex comes from h, comma, k. Vertex is always h, comma, k. H, comma, k. Okay, so that's where we get our vertex. So every single one of these parabolas is going to have 3 different parts. First, we're going to find the line of symmetry, and I'm just going to abbreviate that as LOS. The B portion is going to ask you to find the coordinates of the vertex. Find the coordinates of the vertex. And then finally, the C portion is going to ask you to sketch the parabola. Excuse me.
Why didn't we do this chapter when we did parabolas?
The first time we did parabolas, we were more concerned actually with finding like the x-intercepts. This time it's more about the sketching. Okay, so notice I'm not even making you find the x-intercepts or the y-intercept or anything like this. So this is actually a lot easier version to sketch because it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. So I'm just going to rewrite my equation. So y equals 1/2 times x plus 3 squared minus 1. And I'm just recopying it so that I can find the parts. Okay, what does this tell me? This value in front tells me what? It's going to open in which direction? It's going to open up. Okay, so it's going to open up because it's positive. And is it fat, skinny, or normal? It is going to be fat, and that's because it's a fraction. So you know that fractions are fat. What can I find about the line of symmetry? Line of symmetry is what? Try again. X equals -3. If you do not write the x equals part, it's wrong. Okay, it has to be written as a line, so an x equals equation. Remember, you change the sign to get that line of symmetry. And then the last part that you can find is you change the sign, keep the sign, and your vertex will be at what points? -3, -1. Right, so now you can make, doesn't have to be a perfect sketch, just make a rough sketch, is fine. So first thing you want to do is the line of symmetry. So your line of symmetry is going to be at x equals negative 3. You do not have to put the little hash marks on here if you label your line of symmetry at x equals negative 3. Then you're going to find the vertex. Vertex is negative 3, negative 1. Again, you do not have to put the hash marks if you label. So negative 3, negative 1. And then we decided that this was opening, in which direction? Up. And it's fat. Make it relatively fat. We don't know what the x-intercepts are, and we don't really care as long as you make this a fat parabola. You could find the exact points that it crosses at, but you don't need to. Okay, I'm not asking you to. So you can just leave it. Say it again. No, we have 4 examples today. So I'm going to do that. Okay, next one, number 2. So today's notes and homework should be relatively easy. Y equals negative 2, quantity x minus 4 squared, negative 2 times quantity x minus 4 squared plus 1. We are going to have to use the other form every once in a while. And again, we're going to find the 3 different parts. You first start by finding the line of symmetry. B portion is to find the vertex. And then C, we're asking you to sketch. So what does this front number tell you? The negative 2 tells you what? Opening down, and it is fat, skinny, or normal? Skinny. Whole numbers are skinny. Okay, what about the line of symmetry? What do you know about line of symmetry? Line of symmetry is x equals positive 4. Okay, you change the sign so it's a positive number. And then finally, vertex is what? 4, 1. Change the sign, keep the sign. Okay, so your vertex came from change the sign and keep the sign. Then you can make a sketch. Again, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, just do the best you can. Line of symmetry is at x equals 4, so that's a positive 4. X equals 4, so your line of symmetry. And line of symmetry is basically just a fold line, so it's going to be symmetric about each side of that. Excuse me. Vertex is at over 4 up 1. So over 4 up 1, label it. And we decided this was opening down and it would be skinny. Okay, so just make it relatively skinny. Doesn't have to be super skinny, just make it relatively skinny. And really, this isn't something that you're necessarily going to be tested on. Okay, so if something is skinny to one person and normal size to another person, that's fine. I just want your sketches to be relatively close. Okay, so it's not like on your test you're going to have to say fat, skinny, or normal. Okay, this is just for your own drawing purposes. Okay, and we do that so we don't have to find the exact perfect x-intercepts. Carl, did you have a question? Never mind. Questions on how I did that one? Question? No. Okay, next one for example number 3. And we only have 4 of them today. So for example number 3, if I give you the equation y equals x squared plus 8x plus 7. Y equals x squared plus 8x plus 7. And again, I'm going to ask you to find those same 3 parts. You want to find line of symmetry. B, find the vertex. And finally, the C portion is sketch. So find line of symmetry, find vertex, and sketch. Now, does anyone remember, what is this form called? This is called standard form. And standard form is whenever you have y equals a standard quadratic equation. So ax squared plus bx plus c. Anyone remember, how do you find the line of symmetry? Close. Line of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. So you were close. So in this example, we would plug in, what's your B value? Negative 8 over 2 times what's your A value? 1. So automatically, before you even do that, what do you know? What does this A value tell you? This A value told you what? It's going to be facing or opening which direction? Up or down? Up. And is it fat, skinny, or normal? Normal. So it's not fat, it's not skinny, it's somewhere in between. Okay, it's normal. Now, if you simplify this, we got negative 8 over 2, and that reduces to be what? Negative 4. So your line of symmetry is what? X equals negative 4 for line of symmetry. Now, what do I do with this line of symmetry? Plug it in for what? Find the vertex by plugging in. And you're going to plug in the line of symmetry into your original equation. So we're going to plug in this negative 4 into the original equation. So you would plug in y equals, and that's just to find the y value of the line of the vertex, excuse me. So negative 4 squared plus 8 times negative 4 plus 7. So order of operations says we should do the square first. So what's negative 4 squared? Positive 16. 8 times negative 4 gives you what? Minus 32 and plus 7. You always want to go left to right whenever you just have addition and subtraction. So 16 minus 32 is negative 16. Negative 16 plus 7 gives us what? Y value is negative 9. So take the x from this part, the y from this part, and you get your vertex. So what is the vertex of this parabola? Negative 4, comma, negative 9. Now we can sketch. So we always start with our line of symmetry. Line of symmetry is going to be at x equals negative 4. Vertex, we said, was at negative 4, negative 9. Oops, sorry. I got the wrong number. That should be negative 4. My bad. So line of symmetry is at x equals negative 4. Vertex is negative 4, negative 9. Please label it. And then we said that this parabola was opening in which direction? Up. And it is normal, so it's not super fat, not super skinny. It's just kind of in between. And that's how I would sketch that, yes. Last one, for example, number 4. Okay, if I give you the equation, y equals negative 1/2 x squared. Y equals negative 1/2 x squared. Would you say that this is in standard form or descriptive form? Technically, it's standard form right now. But whenever there's things missing, it's pretty easy to change it into be descriptive form. So descriptive form, all you have to do is just change this. The negative 1/2 stays out front. That's still your A value. What's inside with x being squared? What's inside with x being squared? A plus 0. Okay? And what's at the end? Another plus 0. So really, you can change this fairly easily. So that, what do you know about the A value? What does that tell you? It's going to be opening down. And is it fat, skinny, or normal? It's fat. Okay, what do you know about line of symmetry? X equals 0 for line of symmetry. And our vertex? 0, 0. Vertex is at 0, 0. Okay, and I apologize, I should have asked you for those same 3 parts. You're going to find line of symmetry, find the vertex coordinates, and sketch. Okay, so find line of symmetry, find vertex, and sketch. So if we make a sketch, whenever you have a line of symmetry at 0, it's obviously a little more difficult to make a dotted line there, so you just make it kind of sideways on the x-axis, or y-axis, sorry. So x equals 0. Then my vertex is going to be at 0, 0. Even though obviously I can tell that 0, 0, you still need to label it. And then we said that this was opening in which direction? Down, and it is what? Bat. Anyone have questions on how I did that? Questions? No? Okay, homework is going to be worksheet 1. You're doing numbers 1 through 16. Okay, you do have packets, so make sure you wait for a second until you can get those packets. Okay, and you're doing numbers 1 through 16. Question, yes?